This is what I think is interesting about finishing a quilt, a baby blanket for a child that is no longer a baby, is that I know his personality a lot. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, this is not Arthur.
Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video.
The name of the game has been crafting for comfort. Yeah, I'm a new preschool mom, guys. Arthur has gone to preschool, is going to preschool now, and it's been a couple weeks. And to manage, man, do I have a lot of things to show you that I've been making. My mind is really like conceptualizing time a little bit differently than it has been. You know, you think like, oh, I have all the time in the world. And then big milestones like this, you know, it just like wakes you up a little bit. So I've been working on some things that have been on the back burner for a long time, and I'm just really happy to have finally finished them. I have such a sense of accomplishment, and I'm really excited to share that with you and hopefully inspire you too, because yeah, like I said, these were long-term projects that I'm really happy are complete. I was thinking about other baby knit things that I had, or baby related things that I had started working on that I had never finished, and Arthur's quilt came to mind. He's almost 3 years old. And I started a baby blanket for him when he was in my belly. So this is a really old project, you guys.
If you've been with me for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of Squarespace and what they have to offer. When I built my website a few years ago, I chose Squarespace because it was simple and they offered a wide range of beautiful templates to get started. On top of that, their SEO tools and selling options make it easy to launch your business, promote your brand, and reach your goals. My favorite part about them is that you don't need a background in website design to create something beautiful. Squarespace asks you all the right questions up front to pair you with the best templates and the tools that fit your needs. And after that, it's only a few clicks to make it your own. You can check it out for yourself by clicking the link in the description, and when you're ready to launch, you can use my link to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So thank you again, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video.
And the craziest thing about it was the quilt that I was putting together. I left it just before he had, I had given birth, just before he was born. I was on the quilting part. So like I had finished putting all the pieces together. I layered all the front, the quilt fleece in the middle, and then I had the backing as well. I had that all sandwiched together. I pinned it all up. And I started hand quilting it, hand stitching thread. And I had gotten semi-decent. I mean, I think I started, so I did like crosses, like diagonally through the blanket. And I think I got one direction done. And then I stopped. And I picked it up maybe a month or two ago to keep going. And I realized why I stopped, because I don't like hand quilting. And so I did a couple of rows and then stopped again. And then I had a friend share with me that she had started a quilt, and like she was about to like start and finish it within a month's time frame. So I was like, whoa, you're going to do that. So I need to get my act together, because I had picked up this project and it was still top of mind. So I finished it. Story time is over. I finished it. And I'm so happy. So this is really funny because I was telling Roz about it, and I hope you can hear me because the quilt might be getting in my way. But if I hold it like this, I think you'll be able to hear me just fine. You can see my favorite part about it anyway. I really love the red sawtooth stars. I think they're really pretty. It's a nice, really pop of color because the majority of this blanket is blue and green. I have this kind of checker 9 square. I forget what they're called. And this one. And it alternates. The pattern is the Campfire Glow Quilt by Then Came June. I love all of the things that she makes, or this company makes. Like pattern-wise, I think they're really, really fun. And you can be really fun about them, or you can be more serious, you know? I like the the open-endedness of a sawtooth star and a grid like these. I think putting them all together is just really sweet. And I'll try and insert some more like full blanket footage so that you can see. Yeah. So like I had it all sandwiched together with safety pins and everything. I had the hand quilts started as well. Like I started on that. And truth be told, not my favorite. I have to be honest. Like, I think the reason that I did hand quilting was because I thought that I wasn't actually going to be able to fit this blanket in my sewing machine. And how wrong was I? Like, I could have done it. I know people that do it. I thought I just needed like a more heavy duty machine to do that. And I just didn't know a lot. So I started with hand quilting. And then once I kind of got far enough, I was just like, okay, I can't take this apart. I'm not going to do that. That would just be hours of work wasted. I have to commit to it now. So that's really what hung me up. And I even decided when I picked it back up again, like, hey, maybe I should just go ahead and sew it. So here I have 2 lines of just machine quilting. And I just didn't like it as much. I think I would like it if I did it throughout, but because I had already started with the hand quilting, I was just like, what am I doing? Like, stop changing things halfway. And yeah, I just something about the hand quilting, it was just not enjoyable. Like, I needed a thimble. I didn't have one, and I didn't like the look of it as much. I think this quilt could have looked a lot more professional if I hadn't have chosen the hand quilted route. I think it makes it a little bit more country is what I'm thinking. That's not the look that I was really going for. As much as I wanted the like country, like Americana style, that's kind of what I was going for. With the color scheme, I even remember saying that when I first started. Like, it just reminds me of like that style. I don't know. I like it. But the hand quiltedness, like the organic, just didn't fit, I think, with my color scheme and the quilt itself. So in the end, it all worked out, but maybe I would have done something a little different if I knew then what I knew now. I even tried to, so for the binding, that was also not really what I had envisioned. I was going to get like a dark red for the binding, but I honestly just opted, don't make it more complicated than it needs to be, Bethany. Like, just use what you have. And I've been really thrifty with all of my crafting recently. Like, I'm really just trying to use up what I have. And I know I've been saying that for a really long time, but like in earnest, now I feel like I'm getting even more creative because I'm trying to envision all of these projects that I want to do within the scope of what I have immediately available. And I think that's really allowed me to like just craft in a more satisfying way, you know? And I owe that a lot to just staying away from... I'm on Pinterest still, but I'm not as active looking at other people's projects, like on Ravelry or on Instagram, as much as I probably would have in the past. I feel like I'm ignoring like the different, what I think a project should look like, and I'm more focusing inward on like, in my head, this is what I want the project to turn out to be. How can I make it as close to that as possible? Instead of thinking about a picture I've seen online, I'm really more relying on like, in my head, how am I envisioning it? And then it makes me just more satisfied. Even if it doesn't match that perfectly, I just find that perspective has been helping me a lot in my craft, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, all that to say that the binding that I did here is an old bedsheet that I had lying around. And it wouldn't have been my first choice. It certainly made the quilt feel a little bit more girly than I wanted it to be. Like, I was thinking, oh, boyish. I mean, it's boyish. Don't get me wrong. I just think that the pink definitely changed the feel of the quilt. But it's not to say that it's not boyish. This is what I think is interesting about finishing a quilt, a baby blanket, for a child that is no longer a baby. is that I know his personality a lot. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, this is not Arthur. This quilt is beautiful, but it's not Arthur's quilt, if that makes sense. This is Mama's quilt. This is what Mama envisioned for Arthur when he was just born, like before I even knew that person. If I were to make a quilt for Arthur today, it wouldn't look like this. And I think that's really interesting. So while this is on his bed, I just don't think it's really him. It's definitely a project that satisfied my aesthetic and does not really fit Arthur. But I finished a quilt, and the bias binding was not very difficult. I was building it up in my head quite a bit, and it was non-issue. I even tried to do some hand quilting there, and I just decided, like, I want to get this done right now. Like, if I decide to hand quilt this, it's going to take me a lot longer than I want it. I'm ready to be done with this project. So I'm done with it, and I'm really happy because it's been 3 years in the making. Arthur's gonna turn 3, like, at the end of this week, so, as of recording. So, maybe when this video's out, he's gonna be 3, so, you know, it's just, it's more than time for me to have finished this up, so maybe this will give you a little bit better of a glimpse of what it looks like. I think it looks really nice. Like, that's not to say that I don't like it, but it really is a blanket for me. It's not really a blanket for Arthur, if you catch what I'm saying. I just think that if I knew who Arthur was now, I would make something different. And I think I will. I'm of course, like, finishing the project, I'm like, oh, that was easy, let's do it again. But I didn't do the whole thing, like, immediately, like, all in one sitting. So I think my brain is not really thinking through that it's not going to be as fast as it was just now. So this was like a week's effort or so, a couple days effort, I think. I definitely made a lot of mistakes here. And yeah, it's a little sloppy, but you know what? It's handmade. Like, I don't know when did I decide that everything that I had to make had to look super professional. I don't know what happened there, but I'm just a mom doing her best. So, and I think this is really good. So I'm happy with it. I would love to do more quilting in the future. I actually started, and I should have brought those up. I wanted to show those with you, or to you. So maybe I will a little bit later. But I have been spending a lot of time with my sewing machine. But before we get into all of that, I need to tell you what I'm wearing because it's relating to the next finished object I have to share with you. So this is the old zipper sweater man. I borrowed this from my husband today. It's super cozy, super warm, made with drops Nepal. Yeah. And I really like this. It's nice. He really likes it. He wears it all the time. It's actually a miracle I was able to wear it today because now it's like super chilly outside. This is going to be a go-to of his in a like really short period of time. So soon he's going to be wearing this all the time. So I needed to bring it out. But I wanted to mainly bring it out so that I could kind of envision where this next piece is going to go in the near future, very, very soon. So I've been talking to you guys a lot about this. This is my other zipper sweater, so related to the fact that he loves this sweater so much, he is knit-worthy, and I decided to knit him another one. And here it is. I just finished it in a nice blue. This blue is super nice. This is like a charcoal gray, really soft. I love the Nepal. I actually regret a little bit not choosing that again for this project. It was just... Honestly, it was his fault because he said that it looked too blue. Like the navy Nepal just looked too blue. But I think it would have looked exactly like this, and it would have been a little bit softer. So this is Drops Alaska. And it's all finished. Like, I just did the Italian bind off for one of these sleeves just the other day. I'm not sure which one, but it doesn't matter because they're basically identical, save for a huge mistake that I made. But I'm not going to tell him, and I don't want you to tell him either. And if he watches this, don't believe it. Just keep wearing the sweater. So I actually made a mistake, a huge mistake in this project, that I discovered after having to re-knit the sleeves. So I knit a sleeve and then it was like too baggy. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to knit the other sleeve and then I'm going to re-knit this one. And upon doing that, I realized that I didn't cast on extra stitches under one of the armpits. I don't know why. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And I don't know which one it is, but one of the armpits does not have extra stitches. So I just joined it immediately instead of casting on like, I don't know, a handful of new stitches. So one is different than the other. So that means that my body count is a little off. We're going to see what happens with blocking. And to be honest, like, it was a mistake I couldn't fix. Like, even if I didn't know, I wouldn't have done it. Even if I thought it was, I don't think it's going to be that important. But I'm also telling myself that it's not going to be that big of a deal because I will not do it. Because I would have to re-knit the body and take apart the sleeves. Honestly, I'd have to take apart everything. Because the sleeves, obviously, like, I cast on stitches, I pick up extra stitches under that armpit. Like, I would need to just start at the yoke again. And I'm not doing that. Like, cause what? It's taken me a full year to make this sweater, almost. Actually, I have less than a year. It's actually taken me less than a year to make this, which is wonderful. But no way in heck am I gonna make it extend the deadline just for perfection. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see. Do I have what I need here? No, I don't. I thought it would be in here. So I bought these at the same time. I was going to get the zipper out. I got it from Petite Knit. Those are some other buttons for something else. Yeah, I'm going to sew the zipper on, and I'm going to block this thing, sew the zipper on, and give it to him and say, I hope you like it. And if he wears it, great. If he doesn't wear it, then we know that it's because it doesn't fit right underneath the armpits. But I did make an effort this time to make it bigger. I think I knit a bigger size, or at least make it longer. I just think I made modifications to hopefully, you know, fix the fit. And also in doing that, I messed up the fit. So it's ironic. Maybe it'll all just like become this sweater again. Because there are just certain things about this sweater, while he likes it a lot, it's not perfect. And I'm sure that that's going to be the same for this. So he's going to love it a lot, but it's not going to be perfect. I have to say, Drops Alaska versus Drops Nepal. I would go for the Nepal, even though it does pill quite a bit. I'm really hoping this one doesn't, because that's going to make it the winner. But as far as like softness goes, we'll see after it blocks. I'm just not really enchanted by it. So I'm curious also how he's going to feel, because he loves this one. And again, it's very soft. He doesn't have like that itchy wool tolerance that a lot of knitters do, you know? So we'll see. But I'm really happy that this is done. So I finished everything. The only thing that I need to do now is block it and then do like the stitching for the zipper. And then we're done. So it's really not going to take any time at all. It is done in time for the cool weather, which was my commitment when I started it, still in the summer. Or like when I picked it back up in the summer, I was like, it needs to be done. So now I can move on to the other boys. I was really thinking that I would knit Arthur a zipper sweater to kind of match, but I need to get started on their Christmas jumpers. And funny, out of nowhere, Arthur told me that he and Noah are going to get orange sweaters for Christmas. So I think I know what I'm going to be casting on. And I have like the perfect orange, which I wasn't actually going to... I thought about saving it for them, but I wasn't thinking right away. Because I'm never going to wear this, but it would be actually really nice for them to have sweaters like this. So I'm thinking that I'm going to knit with this like crazy lava orange. It's a color I really love, but no way in heck I would ever wear it. So I can knit it for them. That would be really fun. But I also don't know, going back to mom's aesthetic versus the boys, like, do I want to make them those sweaters? I don't know. Okay, so Since Arthur has been at school, I obviously have a little bit more time in the mornings to craft. Noah's still around, but at this age with Arthur, I was able to craft a lot more. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the same. It is true for the most part, but I've also forgotten over this like last year or so, like how difficult it is to have a baby that's just turned 1. There's just a lot happening with them that you just need to really be present there. So crafting has not been as easy as I really thought it was going to be. But that's not to say that I didn't do anything. I've gotten quite a bit done, and let me show you. I've been spending a lot of time with my sewing machine. So I hinted, well, obviously I finished up this quilt, but I've been really focused on, home goods. And lately I've had the fire within me to knit or to sew some new pillows. And so we have a couch that's wrapped in drop cloth right now, and I accidentally because I would love to do an upholstery project soon with that. I would like to make a new slip cover for it and new cushion covers, but that takes a lot of time. And also, I am overthinking like what color this couch should be or like what kind of fabric I should use. So until then, we have like drop cloth on there, and I accidentally dyed the drop cloth. It used to be white, and then I wanted it to be brown, but it turned out pink. So now I have a pink couch, and the cushions the pillows that I had on top of it, it didn't really work out very nicely. It just made it look even more like, why did I accidentally dye my couch pink? So I decided that I need to do a quick sewing project and just kind of make it look more intentional by having pillows that kind of go with it, you know? And I've just been feeling like the color scheme needs to change a little bit. I don't know if this is exactly my style, but we're working with what we've got. Again, going back to how I'm trying to be creative. Like, I'm not following, like, I guess my ideal Pinterest board, but we're getting close with whatever we've got going, whatever we're working with. So let me show you some pillows that I have from fabric from my stash. So really interesting. They're all over the place. So the first one, I'll just go in order of the ones that I made. I've just been obsessed with black checker. This pattern or this fabric that I have, I used to make a dress for myself when I was pregnant with Arthur. And that one I accidentally dyed too. I have a really bad habit of accidentally changing the colors of things in my house, apparently. And that happened with a dress that I really, really loved. And then once I did that, I just have not been wearing this dress at all. I really love the black and white checks, but then it turned out to be like a dark plum color. And I never really wear that dress anymore. I don't find it as flattering. But that's just an aside that's not as important. I still had a lot left over of this, so I decided I'm going to have a pillow. I love this. Why not? And I even got creative with another checker fabric that I had and made like this little, it's not a ruffle, and it's not exactly an I-cord either, or like there's an upholstery term for that. But anyway, I added this and I thought, oh, wow, professional, looks super nice. It's stuffed kind of funny with like I use stuffing out of like a pillow that I don't like to sleep on. So that's why it looks a little lumpy. And so what I ended up doing, so I had pillows on my couch that I didn't really like, right? So I ripped out the zippers of them and I took those pillowcases and I laid them on top of fabric like this and cut them out. And then I did magic. I followed a tutorial and I made a pillow. I made 3. So I made this one. This was my first pillow. And honestly, I think I like this one the best. As far as I think it's always like that with me. It's like I pay really close attention the first time around and I'm doing things very meticulously because I don't want to do it wrong and I don't know exactly what I'm doing. And then after I've done it like once and it's turned out well, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. So then I don't take as much care into it, you know? So this one turned out really nice. This is a really nice quality pillow. The next one that I did was this one. This is not exactly like, this doesn't match. This is the same color as the pillows that I didn't want to keep, but I had this velvet in my stash. I don't know why. Like, I was at the fabric store a long time ago, earlier this year, and I just had like an impulse to purchase some upholstery fabric from their bargain bin. It was like €5 per like cut coupon, and some velvet here. I really like it. It's not the right color, but I thought it was luxurious and nice. And that was like a nice fabric that I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have a velvet pillow. It's not practical for a mom with toddlers. So this is not sitting on the couch. This is like on the chair that no one sits on kind of thing. But it turned out okay. The zipper is way more noticeable here, but I still think I did a really good job. I didn't do as good of a job, I feel. But I did an okay job, so I'm happy with it. I thought it turned out really nice. I mean, this one is also nice too, but this one really, again, like I stole the zipper from another pillow that it shouldn't really be on. Like, so if I had like if I went out and shopped for the right zipper, it would obviously not be this noticeable, but you know, work with what you got. And that was like half the fun of it, is to just see what can I get done without going to the store, you know? Like, let's have that thrifty mindset. It's really inspiring me right now. Might be out of necessity, but that's fine too. Like, whatever gets you like really creative. I think having parameters like that helps energize you too. And helps make you feel like more happy with what you've been able to accomplish. If you have like those parameters, I think there is more sense of accomplishment there. So this one I think is the worst one that I did. This is another one of those coupons that I bought. It was €5 at the store. It was pink. I don't know what possessed me to buy it, because I was just like, I really like this, but it doesn't match anything in my house. At the time, it didn't. Maybe I just knew in my head that I would accidentally dye my couch pink. It still doesn't really go with it's not the right shade of pink. It's obviously like way more like fuchsia, and the pink is more like a brownish pink, but you know, it's making it feel more intentional. That's the point. And so what I tried with this one, I did buy supplies, okay? Because I have upholstery projects that I would like to do, remember. So I bought like upholstery cord, welt cord, that's what it's called. And I made welt for the first time. So that's what this little like cord thing is called. And so I made some of that with cuts on from this fabric, and then I made some of the cord, and I tried to do what I did with the checkered pillow. This one didn't come out as nice, but I still think in the end, if you don't look at it too closely, it's fine. Like, you're seeing this here, and I think you're going to tell me, like, this is a lovely pillow. Thank you. I think so, too. But yeah, if I wanted to critique myself, yeah, like, in a lot of places, the welt is not stitched on properly. I need more practice in that area. The funny thing is, I used a zipper foot for this, which is what you're supposed to use when you're sewing on welts and zippers. But for the first project, I didn't know that I had a zipper foot, so I didn't use one. I just used a regular foot. And I think the accuracy of my needle turned out much better. I don't know where the logic is in that, but it does seem like that's the case. So I made pillows, and I'm really happy with them. I think they turned out really nice. So yeah, I think they turned out really nice. And I'm going to be embarking on some more projects. So I actually found some, and I think this is related definitely to Arthur starting preschool, like this chaos of like, oh, I need to craft things. I need to take control and like do something. I don't know. I think that like crazy energy is definitely coming from that little milestone. We're all handling it in different ways. So I have some chairs for the dining table that I want to reupholster. I found some Marcel Brewer lookalike chairs. They don't have like the cane on the back, but they have like just like a cushion. So I'm going to reupholster all the cushions because they were free and they were really, really messed up. So I'm really excited about that. I hope I can share like what I've done there. Bethany from 3 years ago would have showed all of the process of all of these projects. I would have taken you along with me as I was making things, but it's just so invasive in my life right now to like take my camera around. So unfortunately, as much as I would love to show, and I appreciate videos like that so much more, just as like a recorder, I just can't do that right now. So, but I do hope that I can just do like more of a recap of that upholstery project. I would love to share that with you because it's something I'm super excited about. And I hope it turns out okay. I think it might. I think it'll turn out great. Anyway, I have one more thing that I want to show you. That's here. There are those other little quilting projects that I've started, but I don't know what's ever going to come of that. I guess I wanted to just show those because it's just proof that I've been doing a lot of just crazy things. But this is another project that I wanted to wrap up. And these are granny squares that I started when Noah was born last year. Yeah. I don't know why in my head I doubted that he was born last year. Yes, he is 15 months, so he was born last year. And I started doing some granny squares. I was doing all kinds of granny squares projects, but this is the one that I wanted to keep going with because I really like the color scheme of all of these. These are scrappy granny squares. So let me show you what I've got here. Man, it got really dark. So I have a whole crazy pile, and I thought enough was enough. I need to do something with them because similar to quilting, I really take enjoyment out of the making of the squares, like the sawtooth stars and the checkered square, like the pieces of a quilt. I loved making that. I thought that was so fun, like pairing all the fabrics together. Cutting up the fabric is really meditative and just enchanting. Like I just, take the time and I just do it. Pairing them all together and then finally making like the square itself. I find that to be a lot of fun. Same thing with granny squares. Like I really love just sitting and making some granny squares. And I loved this project in particular because I was taking scraps from my stash and I was just making crazy combinations, like things that I would never. That's what I really like about crochet. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like I just feel so much more like bold because I just think that the look of a granny square like lends to that scrappiness. I think it looks the best when it's random and bold and just I can just have a lot of fun with it, I just feel more free to make bold choices. Whereas with knitting, I feel like I want to be a lot more safe because maybe it is because it takes longer to make a sweater, obviously. So I want to make sure that all the time that I'm putting into it is not wasted. A granny square takes me maybe 30 minutes. That's kind of embarrassing, I think. You crocheters, you tell me how long does it take you to make a granny square? Because I feel like it takes me a long time. So it doesn't take that long to finish a granny square. And so I feel like I can be a little bit more daring in that way. That's probably the thought process behind it. So I had a friend tell me, I asked on Instagram too, I was asking what is the best way to join granny squares because like I said, I enjoy the process of making the granny square. I've never like joined them together. I've made one really large granny square blanket kind of thing. It's more like a cushion cover. I made that and that's one and done. Like I don't have to join anything. So I've never actually joined anything. And I got some really good suggestions, you know, the typical like stuff. One person, a friend of mine, told me, hey, use your sewing machine and do a zigzag stitch and combine them all together. Have you heard of this? I hope that you haven't, so that I can bless you with this information, because this is wonderful news, because I've been spending a lot of time with my sewing machine. My sewing machine is out. So I experimented with it just recently. And here is where I'm at with it. Check it out! It looks great! So this one, I think, with the amount of squares that I had, I didn't do like an actual calculation, but this is probably as wide as the blanket's gonna be. I think this is gonna be a blanket for Noah, because he deserves one. And yeah, I'm just gonna start zigzagging these things together. I need to clean them up a little bit, you know. I think I like weave the ends in as I was going, but I need to just double check that before I cut them all off. But really, you can't tell. I mean, certainly you can a little bit, but I'm using a dark blue thread to sew them together. And I think it works out. It's been working out nicely. It's like, you can tell if you look up close, but it doesn't offend me. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't offend my eyes like, oh yeah, that looks weird. But no, this looks good. I'm fine with it. It looks great. It's actually cute. That was my big concern. When she told me about it, I was like, okay, well, I'll do that. But I need to first get a border around them that's all the same. And as you can see here, I have so many granny squares that don't have the same border. Again, I was like, Bethany, you're just adding extra steps that's going to delay the project. Let's finish the project now. So I said, okay, well, let me just give it a try. And then I did it. And what do you know? It doesn't look terrible. So I'm gonna just do what I got. And again, like, who said that I had to make super professional things? You know, like, why did I put that rule on myself? So I'm not. I'm going to make homey, cute, nice things. I'm going to finish things. I'm going to make things for my babies so that they can enjoy them in the moment, like when I want to finish it and like give it to them, not 3 years later. You know what I mean? So these are some revelations that I have been having as I've been crafting through my chaos of life right now. So I hope in some way you related to this, because I feel like I was saying things for a purpose. I hope I was. Yeah, anyone else going through something similar as I am, new milestones with your kids, let me know. I would love to hear and maybe give you some support in the comments. Yeah, just tell me what you've been working on. Tell me if you have anything similar going on. Moms, let me know. Let's chat in the comments. Would love to hear what you've been doing during nap times and bedtimes. I have other stories about bedtime that I'm not even going to go into right now. We're also dealing with that, but I'll save that for another time because I'm already getting really rambly. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending some time with me and listening to me. I'm really happy with where I'm at with my projects, and I hope you are too. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!